Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to produce a test plan for your work. It is something that we covered, surprisingly, quite some time ago. And I know some people have already done this, or at least started it, but it isn't something I've raised in class recently. So hopefully this will be helpful for you. Basically, a test plan is a document that shows you the tests that you've carried out to make sure that things work properly, and it has a record of any changes that you had to make. Okay, so personally, I would do this in Docs, but you could, I suppose, do this in a spreadsheet if you're more comfortable with that. It doesn't really matter where you do it, so long as it does get done. I'm going to go to Insert Table, and I'm going to want 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll want a few rows as well. I may well need to add to this. Okay, I'm going to say what I'm testing. I could say test or testing, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to say expected outcome. I'm going to say actual outcome, and I'm going to say retest outcome. Okay. Now, obviously, I now need something that I'm going to test. So I have picked on somebody. I'm going to use Harry's work. Harry's looks like this. It's fairly neat and tidy and what have you. And the first thing that we're going to want to do is choose something to test. So it could be that we're going to test the zorbing button. Okay, we're going to test that. So on our test plan, we're going to say what we're going to test. Inside the table, we're going to test the zorbing button on homepage. Okay, we expect it to take us to the zorbing page. We obviously need to put this into present mode. We click the zorbing button. It does take us to a zorbing page. Okay, so now that we're here, we can also think about these other buttons. So that takes us back to the home page. That takes us back to the home page. This should take us onto the skate park page, which it did. Okay, so we can now note all of those things down. So if we come out of present mode, we can say home button on zorbing page. We can go right click, insert row below, forward button on zorbing page, right click row below, back button on zorbing page. Okay, and what we expect to go to the home page, to go to the next page, to go to the previous page. Okay, actual outcome, well, they were all fine, so we could just put as expected. We can copy that. Whoops, copy too much. We can copy that into each one of those, and then in here we can just say it's not required, or we could leave it blank. So we could say non-applicable because we didn't need to retest it, it all worked. Now what I would say is you have all had problems with this. I know it was a while ago when we did it, okay, but you have all had problems with this, and really what we should have done was do the test plan as we're going along. So we need to take 2 approaches to this. Either, if you can remember a problem that you did have, then obviously put that in here. It could be, I know a problem that somebody had was that some of the text was a link and some of the buttons were a link, and that meant that some of the buttons had like blue text all over them and some of them didn't. Some of them needed you to click right in the center and some of them didn't. So that could be something, that type of thing could be something that goes into the test plan. Alternatively, if you really truly can't remember anything that you had a problem with, I'm not necessarily suggesting inventing a problem, but think of something that would be like a common issue, something that you imagine could have been a problem, and then write about how you could have addressed it. Okay, so it could be that maybe when you click the forward button, it doesn't actually take you to the next page, it takes you to the one after that or something. Just so that it's really clear that we know how we're doing this test plan, and that we know how to sort of approach each problem. Okay, that is it in a nutshell. You obviously do need to go through and test all of the features, make sure that everything works, make sure that it does start up as expected, all of that sort of thing. It will end up being quite long, I would imagine, but you can see it's not hugely detailed. Okay, if you have a problem, you might have one or two boxes where you need to write a little bit more about maybe what you had to change. But in principle, it's going to be quite a lot of short little bits of information. I hope you found that helpful. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.